All right, welcome to the big picture.
It's
Friday.
Thank goodness. And it already appears the computer has taken its weekend early.
Yes, it always loves doing that, this computer.
I'm Collin. She's Bryn. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
It's a busy weekend in Central Ohio.
It really
which is.
is.
Really kind of our top headline of the day is that if you're bored, you're not looking.
I love when you say that because
there's
it's
so
so
much
true.
to do. I mean, we've got State Fair going on. Pelotonia kicks off today. Dublin Irish Festival kicks off today. There's concerts over the weekend.
Right. Pelotonia, their opening ceremonies today, and that's just an emotional start to the ride.
Right.
So that's going to be really exciting. We have the CEO of Pelotonia, Joe Apgar, joining us too in a little bit. So that'll be exciting.
It's going to be a crazy weekend in terms of, just things to do.
100%.
Yeah, a lot of good concerts at the State Fair this weekend. If you're a folk music person, Allison Krauss and Union Station are performing tomorrow night. Sammy Kershaw, if you're into 90s, 80s country, that's Sunday night.
And we can't forget about
Barry Manilow. Nationwide.
Woo!
It's a reschedule for March.
Whoa, I'm hitting my water bottle.
So,
I'm all excited about Barry Manilow.
Yeah, so that'll be great. Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about the weather forecast because, Justin, we have an alert day for Saturday. Yes. And I know when I was trying to make my weekend plans with my family, I was like, what day do I go to the fair? When do I go to Irish Fest? I'm trying to plan it out with the weather. But you said it's going to be a little spotty maybe.
Yeah, that's the super annoying thing. And I would say, so we have this weather impact alert for the PM hours on Saturday. And it looks like the further into the day we go, the better our chances of seeing some of that scattered shower and storm activity. If this were some random Tuesday, we probably wouldn't have an alert out because, as you were all saying, there's so many things going on this weekend, so many people outdoors. It would take one ill-placed downpour or thunderstorm to just mess things up. So that's why we want to highlight that for us. So I would say evening hours probably our best opportunity for those scattered thunderstorms on Saturday. Not to say that there's not going to be anything before then, but that would be our highest chance of it. And then Sunday, lesser chances of rain. So if I had to pick one day of the weekend over the other for getting out and doing stuff, I would say Sunday's probably going to be more promising. Most of the storm activity is likely to be pushing off to our east on Sunday. But regardless, there'll be a lot of dry time this weekend. Just make sure you have the 10 TV app on your phone. Check the radar. Be able to make a pivot in your plans. And the thing, too, is even if we don't have any quote-unquote severe weather here, lightning, it's dangerous. We don't want people out when it's like, you don't think, oh, it's just thunder. Well, no, that's dangerous. We want you to be inside in a sheltered area. So we mentioned on the morning show today, like the tents, those aren't lightning safe. You need to be inside a structure, inside your car, good places to be in case there's any thunderstorm activity.
Right, and I know Dublin Irish Fest already kind of has that plan in place of like, how are we going to deal with this? They've got the shelters set up inside the city hall and community center, basically saying the same thing of like, yeah, the tents are good for rain, but everything else.
Especially because a lot
inside.
of people go to the Irish Fest like later in the evening. Like they go for dinner, kind of like the nighttime vibe.
Right.
So let's hope.
Not a washout.
Fingers crossed.
No, there'll be a lot of dry time this weekend, but just be willing to adjust your plans kind of on the fly depending on how things are going. And it's one of those situations, one part of town might have a downpour, another part totally dry, and it's that kind of situation for it.
And looking
cool
at
down, though,
look at today's.
Today.
This is going to be great weather today too if you're getting out.
87 today, not terribly humid, just seasonably warm for the last day of July. Then quite a few clouds are around this weekend, holding those temperatures back some. So overall, it could be worse. We'll be hoping that we can avoid much in the way of the storm activity and rain activity. But again, just be able to pivot your plans and get right back out once things clear out.
Wait, Collin, you said a cool down.
Well,
I didn't hear about that.
I don't know if what the high for tomorrow is like 80.
80 on Saturday, 81 Sunday.
Marginally
and then
cooler.
Yeah, gradually warming back.
Does this mean summer is winding down? It
Well,
feels like it to me.
Tomorrow's the first day of August already.
I cannot believe it.
I know. Tomorrow I'll be able to say our kid goes back to school this month.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
When does your daughter go back?
Let's see. She'll be the third week, I want to say, of August. So we still have a few weeks yet. But there's not many activities left this summer before school starts back
Yeah,
up.
that's crazy.
I mean, it used to be you went back after Labor Day, and now it's like it's a little earlier than that.
I know. They want to get them back in school immediately. Okay, well, Justin, thank you so much. Everyone stay weather aware. Download the 10 TV app. Get those updates.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on. We
course.
appreciate it. Have a good
Well,
weekend.
You too.
Yeah, and if you're headed out to Dublin Irish Fest this weekend, there are a multitude of things you're going to see. Obviously, yesterday we brought
had them
in
on.
some Irish dancers to
yeah.
entertain you for a bit, but we can't, talk about Dublin Irish Festival, talking about all the food, the vendors, and there's some pretty unique things, including dogs.
I know. These are my favorite breed of dogs. They're up there. And
Yeah.
look what Amy had so much fun this morning.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. Take a listen.
This is my favorite guest so far of the morning. This is Druitt. He is one of the big hounds you will see this weekend. And of course, Liam is here with me. We got to have someone keeping control. Talk a little bit about what people can see. They can meet pups like Druitt.
They sure can. So you come to the Celtic Canine area here at the Dublin Irish Festival, and we try to get all the breeds that are original to Ireland, and there will be many Irish Wolfhounds here. You come over, you get to pet them, hang out with them, and at that stage over there, learn a little bit more about them other than just that they're big. Learn why they're that big and what they were bred for.
And he is a gentle giant for sure. He has been such a good boy this morning. You said your family's been doing this for quite some time.
Absolutely. Prior to the original Dublin Irish Festival, it was the Columbus Feis, and my family has been doing that since 1986.
And he is 150 pounds. You said he acts like a baby, jumps up, sleeps in the bed, does everything that a normal dog does.
Absolutely. He takes up 75% of the bed like every other baby does.
And I guess, if people are coming out to the festival and you've been doing this for quite some time, so you're an expert, other than staying with cuties like him, what is your favorite part?
Just the constant music that you can hear and the smiles, the kids running around. There's so many unique things to see that you wouldn't ever be able to expect to see in Central Ohio. So whenever I have a down minute, I love to just meander and people watch and see crazy things.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you for joining us too, Druitt. You can meet dogs like him again at the Dublin Irish Festival happening this weekend. It runs through Sunday.
All right, Amy, thank you. A Celtic canine area? Sign me
That's
up.
cool.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Did you know the Irish Wolfhound is the tallest breed of dog?
I mean, it looked like a big dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love their eyes.
They freak me out.
Piercing. Could you imagine waking
It's-
up in the middle of the night and seeing those glow at you?
Right. The joke is that it's just a human trapped in a dog body. I don't know. Like
I could see that.
whole like subsect of dog.
Like when
has
they're
that,
180 pounds, like they're
right.
like human-like
Yeah,
in a way.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
Goldens
cat
have
people
it too.
again.
Like
Get
all
rid of
those, all the doodles have the creepy eyes as well. But yeah, so that being said, if you are headed out to, split all your time. You've got whenever you get off work today, then
Yeah.
tomorrow and Sunday to do all of these things. You can head out to the fair, and if you're still looking for ways to save, where to park, all that fun stuff, we've got that available for you at 10TV. You can either go to 10tv.com, Google search it, or just text FAIR to 614-460-3345. That is 614-460-3345. And we'll send a link right to your phone with some more information.
Okay.
All right. Hard turn.
Hard turn. So another, this is a really, really hard turn, but we're talking about Pammy May.
Right.
There's some big news that could come out today or Monday, but she could possibly be agreeing to a plea deal. Now,
Right.
if you guys don't remember who this woman is, she is accused. Let me get a picture.
Yeah, she's
of her.
accused of murdering a 5-year-old boy,
Right.
Darnell Taylor.
Here she is in court.
Right. And one of her, so back in earlier this year, she was found competent to stand trial, and
that was a big question.
because there was a big
for
question
for
after
a while.
this of was she going to be certified as, was she going to take some sort of insanity plea? But back in April, she was found competent to stand trial. This all goes back to 2024,
Right.
When it's really it's really a disturbing case when police got the call from a man claiming his wife, who is Pammy May, told him that she, quote, had just killed our foster child.
And then there was basically a manhunt for her across this entire state of Ohio.
Right.
I was working in Cleveland at the time. You were
I
in
was here.
Columbus.
Yeah.
And I was at the apartment complex where they believe that she might have taken the child to. And then eventually, as we know, investigators did find that 5-year-old boy dead. So again, she could possibly agree to a plea deal today or tomorrow. We obviously don't know if that's going to happen exactly, but
Right.
again, we're
And-
kind of monitoring that situation.
Yeah, so this plea deal, it takes really kind of one of the lesser charges off, but in order to get this plea deal, she still has to plead guilty to aggravated murder and abuse of a corpse.
Right.
And that carries 21 years to life in prison. Now, if she does not accept this plea deal today or Monday, then this has to go to trial.
Right. And that trial is scheduled to start August 10th.
Right.
It could if she doesn't agree to it.
Yeah, we obviously are continuing to monitor that. If it doesn't happen today, then we'll be back Monday talking about that. But we'll, of course, bring you the latest updates on 10 TV. So.
Okay. Well, coming up next, we have Tyvis Powell talking about sports. We'll be right back.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
All right, welcome back to the big picture.
Yeah,
I don't know why we didn't hear that.
Back. Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
All right, we joked at the beginning of this. The computer's already taken its weekend. It does this occasionally on Fridays.
Well, we got we got an hour or two before we can say we all.
It's almost the weekend.
Right. But hey, Big Ten Media Day wrapped up this week.
Yeah, yes.
Any big surprises at all?
I mean, when I talked to you guys earlier this week, I wanted to see what coach would take the shots at the SEC, and obviously Kirk Cignetti was of the latest to do it, and I love his comments about, we out here in the Midwest, sometimes if we come up short, we admit we just came up short. We don't make excuses and all of that. And I was just laughing because I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of people that don't like Kirk Cignetti, but I kind of love the guy. He's a straight shooter, and we were talking about it on the show today. How many coaches in college football would you take over Kirk Cignetti currently?
Nick Saban all day.
No, currently. Stop it with that. Let it go. It's done. The tide is done. Let it go.
Hey, you know what I liked from Big Ten Media Day was how they coined now for Ohio State, seasoned and salty. You know what I mean?
They did that?
Did you hear them say that, Coach Day? Yes.
Because they lost a championship?
Well, yeah. But I'm like, seasoned and salty? Oh, my gosh.
I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. But no, honestly, the Big Ten is in a good place. Obviously, the big story is what team is going to do it. A lot of people have Oregon favored as the team to do it. I think they did a ranking of, I guess they went around and asked, poll which will be the top teams in the Big Ten. And it came back Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Indiana 3. And probably those three, I don't see them three not making the CFP. The other interesting thing was they got to talk to Kyle Winningham, the new Wolverines coach. And they asked him about the rivalry. And I've never seen somebody downplay this rivalry as much as he did. He said, hate, he can't get there. He's not hate. He says, I don't hate Ryan Day. We have a good relationship. And it's just he's like, I got 11 other games to worry about. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you answering this poorly.
Well, I mean, they beat us how many times now
I
at this
understand
point,
that.
so
But
they're probably not
you
worried.
can't be the new coach that come in and kind of downplay the rivalry. It just doesn't go well with the fan base. So I know the Wolverine fan bases saw those comments and probably
he knows what
is
he's
up in
doing.
arms.
He's getting them fired.
We'll see. I mean, listen, when we play Utah, because he's coming from Utah, we play Utah in the Rose Bowl. That went to the wire. Obviously, Jackson Smith and Jigma and Marvin Harrison had to have a big game for them to win it. So he's played Ryan Day tough. He's got better recruits there with the Wolverines. It should be a good game.
Okay. And then, I mean, in the realm of football, too, someone just got drafted.
Right. Former Buckeye, NFL big contract.
Yeah, Chris Olave, he was one of those guys. First of all, JSN hit the bag. I think he got for 160. Chris Olave he hit for 132. $132 million, 90 guaranteed.
That's not enough. It's not enough money to play football. They need more.
Both of those guys are coming off of all-pro seasons. JSN was first team. Chris Olave was second team. It was good to see. Obviously, when you think about Chris Olave, the concussions come to mind because he suffered a few since he's been in the NFL. And last year, he had that scare at the end of the season where he dealt with blood clots. So the health thing is kind of scary with him, but his production on the field has been unbelievable. He had 100 catches for almost 1,200 yards last year. So I think it's the right thing. Obviously, the Saints, they have been down, but they're trending in the right direction now that they got Tyler Shuck there and they got some continuity there at the coaching staff. He should be fine. I'm excited that he ended up getting his money. Now him, Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigma, and Terry McLaurin. It's like the last few Buckeyes that's gotten paid and all around $100 million. So it's looking good. Wide receiver U is looking good at OSU.
Taxes, don't forget about them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uncle Sam's going to get his.
So here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Yeah.
Finish it.
So yeah, this okay, so okay. So day one, obviously it was all about how Deshaun threw 2 picks and he didn't look great. So then yesterday they flipped it. So day one, Deshaun Watson was with the 1s, Shedeur was with the 2s. They flipped it. Deshaun went with the 2s, Shedeur with the 1s. Basically what's going on is whatever quarterback is going up against the 2s is going to look good. And it bothers me because, well, 2 reasons. One, it tells me that the Browns' defense is really good because it's making whoever the starting quarterback struggle, and he's going to look bad. But the depth of the defense scares me because if somebody gets hurt and somebody from the 2's got to become a 1, it ain't there. So that's a problem there. Ultimately, you can't really – I know ESPN Cleveland is putting out the quarterback tracker daily to tell people what's going on, who did what. You can't put a lot of stock into that. You got to wait to the preseason games, and you got to wait to the joint practice against the Bills. Those are the 2 things that's going to define who should be the starting quarterback. So – the practice is what it is. It's good to see that. I think they're getting pads on here in a couple of days, so obviously that makes it more real. But right now, you can't put a lot of stock in it. Don't judge. Don't look into it too much. I'm telling you, just wait.
You're saying trust the process.
Yeah, I don't. Well,
trust it.
A lot of people don't want to hear that right now because of LeBron's actions. So,
that's something totally unrelated.
Well, trust the process was Joel Embiid's thing, and ever since he said it, it's like been his thing. So now LeBron's going there. A lot of Cleveland and Cavs fans is upset about it.
Right.
So yeah, I don't want to say trust the process. Just be patient.
Okay.
Just be patient.
And you're going up to Cleveland tomorrow to
I'm going up to
them?
Cleveland to watch practice tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
You're not going to hop in there? I'm teasing.
I mean, listen, if the second team is that bad, if they need a corner to come out there and shut somebody down, I'm available for a fee.
All right, time is found. Thank you.
See
We're
y'all
gonna
later. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to speak up, or lend a hand. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Welcome back to Big Picture. I'm Collin. She's Bryn. So this program, we're talking about the PAST Foundation. It all started as a big question of how do we connect research in science into the classroom. And just yesterday, they graduated their most recent round of graduates, really getting them set up for
62.
Yes, 62 of them, getting them set up for the workforce. So this is a taped interview, so looking ahead to graduation, which was yesterday evening. But talking with a student and also the leader of the program about why this is so important. So tell us a little bit about the PAST Foundation as really how are we connecting classrooms into this world of STEM?
Yeah. So the PAST Foundation stands for Partnering Anthropology with Science and Technology. So PAST was founded under the idea that, we aren't always able to prepare our graduates adequately for what's to come in the future. So really thinking about STEM as a way to solve our problems in society, but also knowing that we have to use an anthropological lens and understand the humans behind those problems. So we work with students, we work with educators and administrators to help reimagine what education could look like.
And Alia, your graduation is today. Tell us what led up to this point.
So we've been working on this day for so many weeks. We've been doing a lot of work in each of our cohorts. I'm part of the business cohort, so we've been making merch for the whole program. So throughout the past 6 weeks, we've been budgeting, figuring out machines, and then talking to like other shirt making companies to like figure out how we're gonna be able to provide all the students in our program shirts.
And what makes the PAST program different from other after school or summer programs? What really makes it stand apart?
Yeah, so with this program, it's called Power Up Your Potential. So it's a paid high school internship program. And we're really focusing on allowing young people to discover not only what they want to do in their future, but who they are today. So through that, they have an opportunity to select an industry field that they want to explore for the summer, work with professionals and mentors within that field on authentic projects to really see what it's like, and earn industry credentials that then give them a leg up in that industry. So really focusing on creating opportunities for authentic and real world learning to occur that's hands-on and problem-based.
All right, and Alia, what do you think has been the best part of this experience?
I think it's probably the new people I've got to meet and the connections I've made. And I feel like it was like a learning point for me to decide what I want to do in my career. So I really loved this program.
What do you want to do?
I think I'm probably going to major in business.
Awesome.
And, what are, when students graduate out of this program, are they coming out with any certificates? How is their time in PAST documented?
Yeah, absolutely. So they will have over 150 hours of work-based learning experience. They will have the Ohio Means Job Readiness Seal. They will have anywhere from 3 to 5 industry-recognized credentials, which are augment the graduation requirements according to the Department of Education. So they're graduating with things that will help them in their school career, but also give them a leg up in the industry that they're looking to pursue.
And do you have any examples, Nikki, of past accomplishments of past graduates?
Yeah, absolutely. So we, a really cornerstone part of the experience is working with mentors and professionals in the field, right? We know that networking is such an important part that we don't always emphasize in the traditional school environment. And I've seen many interns that, then have met somebody who go on to work for that industry or business. So it's a really talent pipeline development for local businesses and industry. And, whether they decide they want to go to school and study what they did over the summer, or if that was maybe an opportunity for them to be like, you know what, I actually don't want to do this with my future, that's okay too. And from there, they can make informed decisions about where they want to go.
Yeah. And, go ahead.
No, you're fine. How do you feel about like the pressure of making a decision about what to do or what to go to school for? Did this help kind of narrow things down for you?
Yeah, I was really indecisive. I had so many options to choose from. And so when I came here, I wasn't really sure if I should go between IT or business. And so this really gave me like an understanding of what my future careers could be if I ever took business. So I really liked that.
How did you get involved? Like, what drove you toward the program?
So I actually knew about PAST beforehand. I used to do some programs where we actually asked PAST used to sponsor us, and then I heard about this program, and that's how I applied for it and I joined through. So yeah.
Awesome.
So when it comes to the age ranges that are able to participate, when can students really start diving in?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have programs K through 12 and even post high school graduation. So we believe that STEM learning and design thinking and problem-based learning can occur immediately and when they're young. So we have dozens of summer programs at multiple sites every summer and throughout the school year to really embed that mindset and that type of learning very early.
How many graduates do you have graduating this summer?
We have 62 interns this summer.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. Have
Thank
fun later.
you.
Okay, and here's Miss Alia Memon at her graduation.
Right,
Congrats.
So congrats to her. And if you'd like to learn more about the PAST Foundation, you can go to pastfoundation.org.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, we're going to take another quick break, but coming up, we have the CEO of Pelotonia coming on because the opening ceremony, that starts in just a matter of hours today.
Right,
This is a really big deal in
The ride
Columbus.
is tomorrow.
Yep, we'll be right back.
Not every Weather Impact Day is dangerous, but plenty are inconvenient. That's where our Weather Impact team comes in with the details that matter the most. Live, local, whenever you need it. No waiting, no guesswork. Stay in the know and be prepared with 10 TV.
Okay, welcome back to The Big Picture. Joining us right now, we have the CEO of Pelotonia, Joe Apgar, joining us. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Obviously, today is the day. It's a big day. This is the
Kicks off the
ceremony.
weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk to us about what's going on today, what time this all starts. I know you said some of the roads are already blocked off.
Yeah. We're just started closing some roads downtown. So opening ceremony opens at 4 o'clock. Got an amazing program at 6:30 tonight downtown in the Arena District, and at 7 o'clock, an amazing concert from Andrew McMahon. So it kicks off our whole weekend, and then Saturday and Sunday, 8,000 people will take to the streets and ride.
Right, and everybody, there are variations of how long you can ride.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the shorter ones, and then we're talking up to 150 plus miles if you want to.
Up to 100 in a single day.
Up to 100,
yeah. Saturday, we have a 17, a 23, a 46, a 66, and a 100, and then on Sunday, we have a 27 and a 65. And so you can sort of put some of those together and make a whole weekend out of it.
Yeah. Wow.
So this event, this has become such a big deal within Central Ohio. Why do you think this event resonates with so many people here in the city?
Yeah, well, I think everybody's been touched by cancer in some way. And I think what the community's been able to do, the Pelotonia community, is we've taken something like cancer that, is hopeless and sad and scary and angry and all these sort of negative emotions, and been able to turn it into something fun and positive and uplifting and sort of triumphant and happy, and all those emotions come together during the weekend. And I think to me, it's like the best of humanity all coming together over the weekend. So it's been fun, and this is year 18, which is hard to believe. So and the community's had an amazing impact.
And it's grown a lot in 18 years. More and more people, because we're expecting about 8,000 riders this year.
Over 8,000 this weekend.
Wow.
And 18 years ago, nowhere near this size. Yeah. But it's become what it is today from that. But talk to me about 18 years ago.
Yeah. It's really crazy stories. A handful of people, a handful of community leaders, and our cancer center director at the time, Dr. Mike Caligiuri, had this idea. It had worked in a few other cities, a bike ride to raise money for cancer research, and he wanted to bring it here. It had never been done at this scale here. Our funding model, this 100% goes to cancer research, had never been done before. We had to find a funding partner to underwrite those costs, and ultimately that came together 18 years ago. The first year, 2,265 riders showed up. They raised over $4 million that first year. It was one of the most successful first-year events in the country at the time, and I think, people were excited about that. That was big. I don't think anyone ever dreamed of it being this big and having this magnitude of impact. And as a result, there has been therapies created, breakthroughs have happened. We've recruited some of the best scientists from around the world to come here to Columbus, Ohio, and bring their work in their labs, and it's amazing.
It's all about raising money for cancer research. Joe, do you mind telling us your own personal story with cancer and how you got involved with Pelotonia?
Yeah, so I was a college student. I went to school at Penn State, in the center of Pennsylvania, and I was diagnosed with cancer my senior year of college, and I had already signed a job offer to move to Columbus that June. This was June of 2008, and so I ended up moving out here. My care got transferred. I needed my care to get transferred to a local hospital, and I ended up meeting Dr. Caligiuri, who was the CEO at the James at the time. I met him at an event at the zoo, of all places, introduced myself, and the next morning I had an introduction to my oncologist at the James. And, so my employer at the time, we started a team in 2011. I rode 100 miles. I borrowed a bike. I rode 100 miles. I had to I didn't know what I was doing. I had to learn really how to ride a bike and train and do all that stuff. And I fell in love with it. Fell in love with the sort of the community, the passion, the energy of the whole thing. And in 2016, I had the opportunity to join the team. So I've been there for about 10 years now. I've had a bunch of different roles. I've been in this role for about 3 years, and it's a story I never imagined myself, but it's so humbling. It's an amazing it's amazing work.
Right, and it's important to remember that that's what this is all about, is raising that money for cancer research at OSU, and it's raised millions over 18 years. And what are some of the besides your own personal story with this that this ride has gone to help do here in Central Ohio?
Yeah, there's so many things. I think something that gets a lot of headlines just nationally, clinical trials, right? New drugs, how do new drugs come to the market? And it's not always new drugs that might cure cancer, kill cancer, because we've made a ton of progress over time in survivorship and those things. But how do you bring drugs to the market that have less toxicity, that make you feel less sick? You know, chemo 15 years ago that was an IV drip now is in pill form a lot. So people take it at home. They don't have to come into the hospital. We launched an immunotherapy institute. And so this is sort of the fourth paradigm of treatment. You use your own immune system to treat the cancer. It's now one of the biggest immunotherapy clinics and research centers in the country. They're launching things, pancreatic cancer trials, brain cancer trials. So they're going after the hard stuff, the rare forms of cancer, the cancer that really hasn't been figured out. Pelotonia funds every type of cancer, and it funds everything from prevention, survivorship, new drugs, treatment, all of that stuff. And so there will be people here tonight. There will be people that ride this weekend. There'll be people that volunteer this weekend that 5 or 7 years ago with their diagnosis wouldn't have had a chance of surviving, and they'll ride 17 miles or 46 miles this weekend and celebrate. So it's special.
It really is. I'm thinking of a friend that I had speak, Sherry Wang. Do you know
I know
her?
Sherry, yeah.
She's one of those stories where just resiliency and just such a big, it changed her life, Pelotonia. So when we're talking about the ceremony and the kickoff to this, it can be really emotional. A lot of people are going to be up there speaking about their personal experiences with cancer. But Andrew McMahon, why was he so important to have come do this opening ceremony?
Yeah, you know, we brought music back in the opening ceremony a few years ago. Andy Grammer was sort of the person who kicked that back off for us, and we had OAR last year, and so music's become a big piece of opening ceremony, a big draw. You always try to find somebody that has a connection to cancer, a connection to the mission. I think it makes it that much more special for folks. And we learned about his story. One of our colleagues, her name's Rebecca, she's a fan of his, had gone to see a concert, and she, approached a few of us on the team and said, I don't know if you guys know this, but he had leukemia when he was 22 years old. And a lot of his songs are about it. Some of his albums are about that experience, and listened to the music. And we ended up through OAR actually getting connected to his manager, and he's ecstatic to be here. He's excited to play. I think the people that don't know his music, aren't familiar with him, are going to walk away tonight big fans.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And because the opening ceremony started at 4:30 this afternoon, right?
Gates will open at 4. Yeah. Programs at 6:30. Concerts at 7.
Right, and downtown's already starting to close.
Downtown's
off.
Closed. Yeah. Don't try to get through Spring Street or
Don't drive
Long
around
Street
there.
right
I guess for someone that's maybe this is their first time riding, what advice do you have for them?
Yeah, I was telling someone this yesterday. It's the same advice I give to people for their wedding day, which is it's chaotic. There's a lot going on, but at some point, just sit and watch and sort of take it all in. It's emotional. It's magical. People are going to meet, people today or tomorrow that are going to become their best friends and these lifelong connections. And, people are going to put on a Survivor jersey and ride tomorrow. People are going to ride up to next someone wearing a Survivor jersey, and they're going to ask them, about that journey. And it's just sort of all the feel-good emotions. And, tonight during the program, people are going to hear an amazing story of survivorship, of somebody who is here because of the James. And that's really special. And I think, people want to know that they're doing something really good. We ask people to fundraise a lot of money. People train for this. They put a lot of effort, a lot of family time into this. And I think for us, we try to make the weekend a celebration and make it really magical. And we want people to feel like they've made the world a better place.
Absolutely. And for people that maybe are not riding, like my parents, calling you out, Mom, no, they still donated money. But how else can people give back if they're not riding?
Come out, spectate, volunteer. Donating obviously is a big one. But I think just, most people have someone in their network around here that is riding or volunteering. I think just supporting them and letting them know you're thinking about them, and make sure they have fun this weekend. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what do the next 48 hours look like for you? Are you going to be sleeping at all?
I'll sleep a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's back to back. I've got a pretty full calendar, but it's fun. It's high energy. It's when I put my head on the pillow tonight, I'll go to sleep really easy.
Right.
All right,
Joe. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
coming
you
in.
guys.
We appreciate it. Good luck this weekend with everything.
Coming up, we are talking more Ohio State Fair. Angela Ann joins us.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Hey, Angela.
Hi,
How's it going?
Happy
What's
Friday.
Up?
It is
Happy
fair
Friday.
season.
I love coming in on Fridays. It's like fun Friday.
Fridays are fun here on the
No
Big Picture.
Filter Friday.
I love it. I love it. Well, you went out to the fairgrounds and you
Oh
got
my
to see
gosh.
everything that was new. What was your favorite
so
part?
Much new. I will tell you, the carousel, so much
Yes.
fun. It just brings back memories, right? Childhood memories, and you see these beautiful hand-carved wooden animals, and you got to ride Dunk. You've heard of Dunk. It's the prehistoric fish.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
the
yeah,
fish
the
that they've like
fossil
carved.
fish.
They've
Yes.
carved the seat into the like into like all the
thing.
like
Yeah.
yes.
It's
I like
so
that in the
neat.
butter cow one.
Yeah, the butter
Yes,
That's
the
so
butter cow.
cute.
They're so and like they're like, we didn't paint it. You don't paint the butter cow. So anyways, it's all good. But there is so much new there, you guys. They went through this massive transformation over the last 2 years. We're talking $460 million put into upgrading, renovating, and just reinvesting in that whole state fairgrounds. And when you walk in, you'll be like, you can feel it. It's like, it smells like a shiny new car, right? Like it's
Ooh.
all brand new. So it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, because what? I mean, the state fair. This is 171 fairs.
Fairs.
It's been around for 176, but 171 fairs.
Fairs, right.
It's a lot of fairs.
It's a lot of fairs.
Yeah.
And so you're going to notice two huge new buildings, absolutely brand new. There's the Ohio Showcase building, which is kind of the centerpiece. And then I think that is.
It says Ohio Showcase.
It does. Okay. I need my glasses.
No, you're fine.
That's like the centerpiece. And just look at how massive that is. And right in front of it, there's a new amphitheater as well. So they built out this kind of town square that they really want people to feel like they're walking into this modern type of fair. And right across from that is the Ohio Agriculture Center. And this is really cool because it is 177,000 square feet. So, just by the way, 55,000 square feet for the showcase building you're looking at right there. That's the same size as the White House, just to give you some perspective of how massive, right?
This is the ag building now.
That's the ag
Yeah.
building. So you can see it kind of goes left a little bit like an L. And that is really made for a space for just about anything. Right now for the Ohio State Fair, they've got everything agriculture you can think of. But when it's not Ohio State Fair time, they really want it to become an event center.
Right.
Right? So when you think about, well, what kind of events? It goes beyond the quarter horse congress. They talk about bringing in volleyball, pickleball. I mean, you can put in tons of pickleball courts there. You can turn it into meeting rooms. And so this was the whole purpose behind their boom, if you will. They've been planning for this since 2019. And they want to bring in more business into Central Ohio by just being kind of all things to all people.
Yeah.
And isn't the parking on top for the ag building?
It's so interesting.
That is so cool.
They've got so many ideas, and then below the surface, if you will, Collin, you said it's been around for 176 years. Imagine the infrastructure, the wires, the cables, the fiber optics. They call it a spaghetti mess. So they literally uprooted everything and rewired everything so the Wi-Fi is better there now, and it's just really about making it better for your experience.
Well, and this would be my fourth fair here, and that whole grounds has been under construction the past 3 years.
Yeah,
I have never seen the state fair in this state not completely torn up in a construction mess.
It used to be
this
muddy.
will be an entirely new experience in terms of fair.
And that's, I think, why the governor said back in 2019 he created this. I think he called it a Master Expo 2050, right? And so they had a master plan of how they want to make this fair now what it needs to be for today's generation. And so that's why you have to go through some construction. But the big stuff is done. And so I even asked Alicia Schultz, who's with the Ohio State Fair, I said, well, if the master plan is 2050 and it's 2026, we got 24 more years. What else are you going to do? So they have more plans to upgrade the Fine Arts Center and things like that, just to say, this goes beyond the Ohio State Fair. This is about bringing more economy into Central Ohio, and it starts with this.
Yeah, wow.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then there's an inside. I'm going to
Yeah,
play
go
the
inside the
Yeah.
showcase building. So this is so neat. It's a 360-degree amphitheater.
Whoa.
Well, theater, really, not amphitheater, but and it tells a history of Ohio and all the way up to the ceiling. And so that's something you'll see on the bottom floor. But then on the top floor of the showcase building, they partner with the Ohio History Connection. And there's a replica of the Wright Flyer 3 plane inside, dangling from the ceiling. But then they have everything that was invented in Ohio, developed in Ohio, the history of some key moments in Ohio. And then you have these beautiful floor to ceiling windows that lets you overlook kind of that town square. You see the carousel and things like that. So tonight at 9 p.m. on the streaming app, we're going to drop a new episode of This Week in Boomtown, but we go on the road. We are on the road, and we literally take you behind the scenes and show you why so much of this relates to the boom that we're seeing now.
And for perspective, this is what we're looking at, and this is what it used to look like.
Ooh, let's see.
There we go.
Where's a horse-drawn carriage?
I know. Look at that. Look at these old photos. Where did you find these? At the library?
So these came from the Columbus Dispatch file archives, but they had some photos, and so we decided to share it along with them, just so you could see, what's changed over 176 years. Although, when the fairs first started, it was actually in Cincinnati.
Right.
And
Which
then,
explains the hills in that first photo.
You know the hills very well.
I was like, there aren't hills in Columbus.
And then I didn't move to Columbus until 1886. But still, that is, black and white days.
1886? 1986.
1886.
Oh, that's what it moved. Oh
when
my
it moved
gosh.
from Cincinnati to Columbus. Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Anyway, the renovations look amazing. I can't wait to go see, and I'm excited to see you guys take it on the road.
Out there this weekend?
We're planning to, and she's like, well, do I get my funnel cake? Of course you get funnel cake. That's a staple.
I was like, it's $3 Thursday, but no, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday. I think a lot of people went yesterday. I'm assuming it was super crowded.
Well, it's great. And then the concerts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's some good ones this year.
The great ones. Blues Travelers coming, Gin Blossoms, you name it.
Yeah,
so.
the Gin Blossoms.
Yeah.
Love them. Because it's them and who's playing with them? Yeah, it's a
oh,
big,
you got me.
Yeah, it's like a big '90s pump. Like
Smashing Pumpkins.
That's
Pumpkins.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
right?
Okay.
Sticks kicked it off on Wednesday night.
Yeah,
so
it's busy.
Lots of
there's
stuff.
a lot of stuff going on.
Cool stuff. Well, Angela,
what's your
thank
fair
you.
food?
Yeah.
What's your go-to? It's the Spin Doctors.
Spin Doctors. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know these bands.
I would say funnel cake and lemon shake up. You can't a lemon shake up at the fair is so.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm always on the hunt for a good corn dog. There
are plenty.
That is like my go-to. Is
do you like it plain? Like some of the new corn dog things they have, like they wrap them in pickles. They're like
I just want
it.
standard corn dog and just like ballpark mustard. Like just.
I want to try
mustard,
their
corn
deviled
dog.
egg flight.
Those are good.
I don't want the sweet deviled egg.
Have you done the turkey leg?
No, I haven't.
I've never had turkey leg at the Ohio State Fair. I've had them at other
this year, guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, again, what time is this episode of
9
Boomtown
p.m.
dropping?
tonight, right here, streaming on the 10 TV app.
Okay. Thank
This
you,
week in
Ange.
Boomtown.
All right.
All right. Have a good weekend.
You too. See you.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Okay, welcome back to the big picture. We got about 10 minutes left in this show, and our weekend begins. No, I'm teasing. We got a couple more hours left to work. It's been a week for sure, but so much fun things happening this weekend around Columbus. Even the Tomato Festival in Reynoldsburg.
This week?
I believe so.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
August 1st.
Oh.
Which is tomorrow.
Wow.
Are you Googling it? Fact check me.
Because I was like, wait, I thought it was mid-month, but maybe it is. Hold on. But yeah, obviously, one way or another, August starts. Tomato Fest is an August thing. But,
the
it's
birthplace of the modern tomato.
We had that whole conversation of, I didn't realize it was yes,
What?
the modern tomato came from Reynoldsburg.
Yeah, I know. It's incredible.
Right.
And we
Yeah.
actually had the mayor of Reynoldsburg on last week, and we're going to replay part of that conversation where they go into the history of the tomato in Reynoldsburg. This was so fascinating to me.
Reynoldsburg is known as the birthplace of the tomato, really the commercial tomato as we know it today. How did Reynoldsburg earn this title?
Everybody always thinks it's got to be somewhere else. It's not Reynoldsburg, Ohio. So Alexander Livingston was the first one to actually figure out how to genetically create a tomato that would be commercially viable, that wouldn't go. So it was the Paragon tomato. And so you were able to ship it, move it all the way across, and that's the birth of it all. And everywhere since then, that's just been able to grow all the way throughout.
And obviously this is that big celebration for this. And for folks who haven't been to the Tomato Festival, we've got all of these communities that have some sort of special festival. Obviously, Obetz has the Zucchini Festival. But what makes the Tomato Festival so special for Reynoldsburg?
I really think it brings a great sense of community. Reynoldsburg in itself is a diverse community, and when you get everybody there having a good time with not only the fair food, but also the last few years we've really focused in on music acts, and it becomes almost a little bit of a musical festival, but still holding that hometown feel. I mean, we have everything from a spaghetti eating contest to a car show to my personal favorite, the pizza challenge. Trained that my whole life. And so all of these different kind of fun activities that are related to the tomato all the way across.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the traditions. There's some rotten ones.
The rotten
Who wants to talk about that?
the rotten tomato.
Jennifer, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, so you're talking about the tomato wars? Is that what we're talking about? Yes. So when we first started taking on the event as a city, it was when I was doing some research. I spent a lot of hours with the Historic Society just looking at some of the history. And there was two things that stuck out that have, we celebrated 60 years last year, and that's a long time for a community festival. So we are really rich in traditions. But the Tomato Wars and our pageant were two of the things that have just stood the test of time. And originally, it was between the two political parties, the first Tomato Wars that they had. And, so we've opened it up to the community. We're working with the Reynoldsburg Student Council. They're going to help organize it this year. So they've got a lot of fun ideas. Tomato contest. They love cutting up. We cut up rotten tomatoes for quite a few days to throw at each other. And this year we're excited. The Ohio National Guard is giving us $500 for a winner. So it's going to be, we're hoping to see a lot of people come out and enter this year.
Now, thank you for coming on. What can people expect this year?
Yeah, it's an exciting 3 days of music.
So
actually, we want to make a correction.
Yeah. You're 12 days out from the Reynoldsburg Tomato
I'm just
Festival.
very excited about the Tomato Festival.
Evidently.
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
wait, it's mid-month.
I had them on a month early. I booked them a month early too.
Yeah. It's
oh
the
my
13th,
gosh.
14th, and 15th of August.
So mark your calendars,
once you get through the
folks.
State Fair, we get through Dublin Irish Fest this weekend, Pelotonia, and if you're bored in a couple weeks, Tomato Festival.
Absolutely. And speaking of Irish Fest, we had those organizers come on yesterday.
Yes.
That was so much fun.
It was.
I love how Dublin, Ohio is the friendship city of Dublin, Ireland. It's just so cool.
Right. And it is one of the biggest
It's
Irish
the second
festivals.
largest Irish festival in the world.
Competes with I think
outside of
Milwaukee.
Dublin.
Yeah.
You said Waterloo.
So Waterloo, Iowa has a huge one.
Yeah.
And I think Milwaukee has the other one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're all very Yeah. Because Waterloo, Iowa's is also this weekend.
Oh.
Yeah, because in the past they've swapped bands. One band will go there one day and another one will be here one day, and then they swap on Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
That's too funny. I'm going to play part of this conversation. Thank you two for coming on. What can people expect this year?
Yeah, it's an exciting 3 days of music, dance, and culture, all in Kaufman Park. It kicks off tonight, actually, with our 5K and Kids Dash in historic Dublin. And then we toss it over for the 3 days, and it's got everything that you can imagine, a full big Irish festival.
Wonderful. And then let's talk a little bit about, the history between Dublin, Ohio, and Dublin, Ireland.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So the city of Dublin is actually a friendship city with Dublin, Ireland. The city itself got its name because of our surveyor, John Shields, was originally from Ireland, and when he came to the Dublin area, saw the city, was given the opportunity to name it, and said it reminded him of his home in Dublin, Ireland.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so the Irish Festival was started by 4 families that just decided one night they wanted to host a dance competition. They literally put their cars at a tennis court, turned on the lights and some music, and started the Irish Festival well over 35 years ago. Mm-hmm. One of the original 4 is also a former honorary chair, Kitty Munger, and she's still with us and very active with the festival still today.
Oh, that's awesome. So talk to us about the tickets. There are some discounts available as well. Where are the starting prices at?
Certainly. So I highly recommend everyone goes to DublinIrishFestival.org. Buy your tickets online. You can save $5 before. Don't buy them at the gate. Buy them online. And then also, if you're looking for another way to save money, and also give back to the community, come out on Sunday before 11 a.m. We recommend that you bring a donation for the Dublin Food Pantry, whether monetary or non-perishable food item, and you'll be able to get free admission.
So fun. And there's going to be dancers and singers. Talk to us about that.
Well, there's a ton. And, in addition to the website, if you're going to come so that you see everything, download the app. It takes you just a couple minutes and you can find everything. So we have, I think, 5 different stages with music, dancing. There's a lot of small cultural tents that you can learn about Irish culture, Irish cooking. There's a ton of food. There's, of course, Guinness, but there's also Pepsi products. It's a family-friendly event.
All right. And again, that starts, it's happening right now.
Right.
Amy was out there all morning. So another thing to do this weekend.
Get your food, get your
Absolutely.
drink. Because they were pushing the Guinness this morning with Amy.
Well, you have to get some Guinness if you're going to go there, I would say.
Yeah.
No, but too funny. Okay. Well, everyone have a great week.